I have one word for this book. 4. 4 is the reason I kept reading, and 4 is the reason why I loved this book. Divergent by Veronica Roth. The main character is Beatrice Pryor, or Triss, set in the future sometimes over the ruins of our society that we live in right now. There are 5 different factions. Abnegation, who are very selfless and live for others. Amity, they believe in friendship and love everybody. Candor, they believe in telling the truth in all situations. So if you're ugly, or if they think you're ugly, they'll just tell it right to your face. Dauntless, who are fearless, and erudite, who hold knowledge above everything else. In 2014, it's going to be a major motion picture starring Shailene Woodley and Theo? James? Anyway. Sexy. I had no intentions of reading this book, and my aunt lent it to me and I had no idea what it was, so it just kind of sat there for a long time. After a while, I kind of thought, might as well read it. There's something sad about an unread book that's just kind of sitting there all alone, untouched. Once I started reading it, I finished it in 2 days. I couldn't put it down. I read the first little bit and thought, wait a second, I've read this before. Kind of like a utopian society. Is this like that Ugly's Pretty series by Scott Westerfield? And there are 5 different factions. Wait, am I reading The Hunger Games? And you have a 16-year-old girl who's coming of age and gets to decide which faction she joins, which then determines what job she gets. City of Ember. She's very petite. Clary. The moment my opinion changed was chapter 6 and 7. Spoilers, but only till chapter 7. And to put that in perspective, there are 39 chapters. So when she first jumps off the ledge, the sass that she did it with, I started to fall in love with her instantly. And second, when she meets 4. At first I was like, oh, okay, this is a love interest. Typical. She describes his eyes as dark blue and dreamy. But then in chapter 7 we find out that he's her instructor. The scene that they have at the cafeteria dinner table is, it made me just smile so wide. And I thought, okay. Did I also mention I'm a sucker for cheesy, overdone student-teacher romances? I don't know why, because in real life I find them disturbing, but in books and movies, like Arya and Ezra, or the movie Never Been Kissed, or in a way, Emma and Mr. Knightley, I think the forbiddenness of it, something about the teacher loving a student that makes them kind of equal and treat them like they're equal in some way that kind of appeals to me and most people. In my defense, in the book they're only 2 years apart. She's 16 and he's 18, so that's not even illegal. If he was 19, it might be. But in the movie, they cast people who are 9 years apart, which I kind of find interesting. Hollywood, you dirty, dirty-minded people. I did appreciate how fast the book moves along. You do get a sense of time, but there's no real lulls, and when there is a lull, it's timed perfectly. It's got a good pace to it. One thing that does come on quite slowly is the character development. For quite a while, I really didn't care what happened to her family or her friends. The only thing I really cared about was 4. Even the main character, she didn't really describe all that much, and so I didn't really get a sense of who she was. Either that or I just kind of skimmed over it. Whether or not she did it on purpose, it's a good thing, because people who read first-person novels usually put themselves in the main character's shoes, and so by not describing that main character too elaborately, you can then bestow your thoughts and your image of yourself into her shoes. That really, I could have put that more eloquently. Another thing I really loved is the theme, that selflessness and bravery are the same thing. Sacrificing something for someone you love is brave and selfless. Not one or the other, but both. Can't wait to read the second one. Whoops. Major potion picture. Be a major potion picture.